WWE just released Speed on Twitter, so let's have a speed review of Backlash. First match, Bloodline versus Randy Orton, RKO, and they did something interesting with it. They just started with a pull-apart brawl, and then Nick Aldis comes out and says, we're gonna do a street fight, and at first I thought that was a little risque because I was afraid that it was gonna become a spot fest, which it did. We had garbage cans, we had chairs, we had tables. I was afraid the French crowd would kind of like exhaust themselves, and boy was I wrong. Whew, that crowd was hot. It was nuclear all night long. They were just like having a good old time. Low-key, they even started to annoy me at a certain point. I know, a lot of people are going to be like, wait, what? No, for real. They were great throughout the entire night. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. When they sang Cody Rhodes' song after it was over, like, they sang a lot. And that's impressive because, you know, they're French, so they speak French. That's their first language. And so many of them knew enough English that they were able to sing the song. And it was like, wow, that is pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, also, during the AJ Cody match, they just kept singing and playing around and all that stuff, and it's great. They paid their money. They could do whatever they want. There were points in the match where I'm like, are you guys even watching? Are you guys even watching? It was kind of like when you're watching a really good movie and the scene that your favorite scene is about to show up and the person next to you is texting and you're like, watch. Oh, yeah, I am watching. No, you're not. You're texting. Watch the show. Watch the movie. And there was a couple points when I was like, are you guys just singing or are you watching the wrestling? But then again, I'm probably in the minority of that, but for real, who cares? Like, they had a good time. I had a good time. It was a decent pay-per-view. Let's get back to the Randy Orton match, though. KO and Randy Orton, great match, awesome match. Actually, it turned out better than I thought it would, and I was really pumped for Jacob Fatu to show up, but then who showed up? Tanga Loa. Tanga Loa shows up. He is the brother of, I'm dyslexic, right? So when I get all these names that sound very familiar, it's hard for me to get it out. Tanga Loa is the brother of Tama Tonga, and they are the Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan. So very crazy that he appeared because he wasn't on anybody's bingo card. Everybody was just geared up for Jacob Fatu. I especially was, if you watch my Who is Jacob Fatu video that I posted yesterday. Tanga Loa, he interferes and he cost them the match, and Paul Heyman's like, oh, and the fact that Paul Heyman hasn't talked to Roman Reigns, he doesn't know what's going on, but he's sticking around because why? Money? He's a hostage? I'm not exactly sure, but he's sticking around just to make sure, and I'm fine with that. Maybe he's the one pulling the strings and it's not The Rock. Maybe it's actually Paul Heyman. Regardless, moving on to the next match. What was the next match? The next match was the three-way. Tiffany, Naomi, and these speed reviews are kind of like pressure's on. What's her name? It's Bayley. So we have Bayley, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi. You know what? Here's another hot take. I want Naomi to go bad, and I want her to stop with the dancing. I really think that it's like, okay, you dance, you get the pop, but where's the character? What is your character? You're just happy? Is that your character? You smile after you dance? Sorry, but let's just have her cut the music, come out, and just say, you know what? That got me nothing, and I want the title. And Tiffany Stratton, they made the right call. She'll get her title in the near future, probably 6 months from now, hopefully at WrestleMania 41. I would love to see her versus Mommy because those two are just very different characters. But right now, keep it on Bayley. Let's just see where we can go with this. This match didn't do anything. It didn't set anything on fire. There was a couple mishaps here and there. It was okay. It was okay for what it was. The next match was Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. We gotta change his name. He needs to be mid-card Jey Uso because he lost again. I understand why he lost. It was more about Damian Priest and his road to being a face, because every time JD and Finn Balor came out, he was just like, no, I said I wanted to do this alone. So yes, the crowd saw Jey Uso winning, but on paper, that's all that matters, and Damian Priest is the champion. Now, if they want to have a rematch at the next pay-per-view, and this time Finn Balor and JD cost Damian the title, that would redeem this, but Jey Uso needs to get a title. And the dude is hot. Let's do it. Let's get him a title. I know the Bloodline, he has to get back involved with the Bloodline and save Jimmy Uso at some point, but let's let him have one title run, one title reign before that happens. Going on to these lovely ladies, we knew they were going to win, no questions asked, but it was still a good match. It was a decent match. When Jade threw Kairi Sane up in the air and gave her the move, God, watch that. You guys go back and watch that because that was an insane. That was crazy. Whoa, I get it. She's tiny, she's small, but she's still a human being. Like, for real? That was impressive. What I didn't like was that Bianca got the pinfall. Really? It should have been Jade. In fact, it should always be Jade. I thought about this because I was like, Bianca, she didn't need the pinfall. Let Jade have the pinfall in this big moment. It's her time to shine, right? Bianca has a bunch of pinfalls under her belt. Or what I think would be cool is if Jade took every single pin, you know, and she wasn't trying to. It just happened that way until one day Bianca started getting jealous. Hey, why do you take all the pins? And at first it's a laughing thing, ha ha ha. You know, JK, I don't really mind, but then you can see she does mind, and Jade gets every single pin. Final match, Cody versus AJ Styles. We all knew it was going to happen. There's no sense in reviewing this other than the fact that it was cool that there was only one finish. It wasn't finish after finish after finish. They protected the finishes, and Cody got one finish. But now he had to pull out some giant stops like that. Cody cut her off the top rope, but at the end of the day, one Crossroads, got the pin. I like that. Even though Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre was a finish fest at WrestleMania, that was cool, but sometimes I just want to see it happen one time. One time, done. One and done. And this was a good match. I don't really know what to say about AJ Styles versus Cody because we all knew it was going to happen. It was okay to happen. It was okay to happen. You know what was funny, though? He wore the same outfit that he beat his dad, Dusty Rhodes, in 21 years ago, so that was a cool callback. I wish they would have played that up more, like, oh, you scoundrel, how could you? That is just a low blow, and Cody's mind's distracted and everything. They could have played it up just a little, but whatever the case may be, this was a fine B-tier pay-per-view. It wasn't anything to set the world on fire. Most of the outcomes we knew. The only one that was kind of iffy, shaky, was Jey Uso, because he is main event Jey Uso. We thought he might actually become what he says he is, but he didn't, so we need to downgrade him, like I said. And then I thought Jacob Fatu was a sure thing, and we got Tanga Loa, and so now we got Jacob Fatu in the pocket, so we're just going to keep building this bloodline. Overall, very happy. You know what I'm more excited about? King of the Ring qualifying matches on Monday. That has some banger matches. Sheamus versus Gunther, Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. There's a lot of decent matches. There's another men's match I can't think of right now, but I was like, dang. That's a stacked Raw. I'm looking forward to that. More so than this pay-per-view, honestly. But you know what? Good. I give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys. I acknowledge France. You only annoyed me one or two times, but for the most part, I acknowledge how awesome you were as a crowd. Just like I hope you acknowledge this subscribe button. Guys, have a great day, night, whatever time it may be. Merci beaucoup, France.